The crashes are really the best opportunity to get rich. The biggest crash is coming, but also it's the biggest opportunity. As the market comes down, there'll be bargains. The best real estate in the whole world for pennies on a dollar. This is not a time to be complacent. This is time to prepare. It's the best time to get rich is right now.
Crashes in the economy makes the rich get richer. The middle class pays more taxes and makes the poor suffer. It sounds unfair, but the reason why the poor suffer is because of a lack of financial knowledge. If only the poor know what the rich do during these times, they themselves would have great opportunity to become wealthy. In the book Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kyosaki, he explains why the poor will always remain poor. They choose to stay to the left side of the quadrant. This is the side where employees and self-employed people are. He says that people on this side of the quadrants thinks differently from the people on the right side. And every time there is a crash, it makes the people on the left side of the quadrant poorer and the people on the right side richer. The reason for this is that people on the right side relies on assets to make money, while people on the left side relies on a job. So your goal is to move from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side successfully. People on the left side also loves a steady paycheck. They work for cash, and some might save their money, but Robert Kiyosaki and many other financial experts suggest that keeping cash can be dangerous in the long run.
There has never been a bubble this big. The biggest mistake people are making is they think tomorrow will be like yesterday. But tomorrow is not going to be like this today. This is the biggest change in world history, and the people that will get hammered are the people saving this stuff. This is a $200,000 in cash. In hyperinflation, this goes to toast. It's looking for a new home, not as cashed, because cash is trash. I'm taking this someplace else and cashing it in for something that will last, because I want the asset, not the cash.
So just pumping money into the system, it's running out of the system right now. It's called a 3 times crash. The first crash is going to be stocks and bonds, and that's the 401k and IRAs for many of the boomers. Number 2 is real estate. Home prices are dropping because interest rates are up. And number 3 is cash. When they print money, cash, the value of cash goes down. And my concern is there might be a run on the banks. If people just want to get their cash out, or the banks may freeze your money. So these are very precarious times, and they're not normal, definitely not normal.
If people on the right side relies on assets to get richer, you might wonder, what are these assets? So in this video, I will break down assets the rich invest in, so it can help you move from the left side to the right side of the cash flow quadrant. Number 1, capital gains. Capital gains can be categorized as a form of portfolio income. It is not directly tied to working, but to keep as a valuable tool to use in the future. Capital gains refers to the increase in value of an asset when it is sold. Capital gains are generally associated with investments, such as stocks and bonds, due to their inherent price volatility. But they can also be realized on any security or possession that is sold for a price higher than the original purchase price, such as a home, furniture, or vehicle. Capital gains fall into 2 categories: short-term capital gains. Gains realized on assets that you've sold after holding them for 1 year or less. Long-term capital gains. Gains realized on assets that you've sold after holding them for more than 1 year.
Portfolio income, it's also called capital gains. So if I buy a house for, let's say, $100,000, I sell it for $200,000, the $100,000 is capital gain. If I buy a stock for $10 and sell it for $20, the $10 is capital gain. This is the second highest tax. Have stocks. Most of these guys don't have stocks of the working class. They have a 401k, but they don't get the break. But these guys, if you're active in stocks and that kind of stuff, or flipping houses, you get a break.
Number 2, real estate. But before you even think of investing in real estate, you need to understand that you can lose a lot of money in it as well if you don't know what you are doing.
I feel terrible for people because people come up to me and they go, "Oh, I took your advice. I bought real estate." I'm going, holy moly. Real estate's not like a stock. You don't just buy real estate like you buy Apple. And the difference is if you buy Apple stock, and let's say it's $10 and it goes down to $6, you can get out of it really quickly. But with real estate, it's not that liquid, and that's why you've got to be smarter. And why I cringe when people say, "Oh, I just jumped into real estate." I go, oh my God.
That's the reason why Robert Kiyosaki suggests that people should really get smarter if they want to invest in real estate, because if there is a housing crash, People who are smart with their real estate investments tends to profit a lot. People who aren't that smart tend to lose money, and what's worse, go bankrupt. He also suggests that even though real estate can be a good investment, it is one of the hardest to get out of. Real estate is not like stocks, where you can buy and sell anytime to make a profit. One common thing you will always hear from the poor is that they don't have enough money to buy real estate. But Robert Kiyosaki disagrees with that concept, and he promotes the idea of buying real estate tax-free with little to no money. Here is what he has to say about this.
The reason the price was so low is the market had crashed. Smart investors always wait for the crash. Trucker said, I had to buy the investment for zero money. Zero money. Most people will tell you, I can't invest because I don't have money. That's a loser. This was 1974. The dollar had just got off the gold standard. Everything was coming up fast. So I had to figure out how to buy it for zero. The reason I say that is most poor people always says, I can't afford it. I know some of you right now say, well, I can't afford it, I don't have time, I have children, I have a job, I have bills to pay. It is those excuses that keep you poor. If you do not change that talk in your head, you will always go to a poor person. So there was about 32 in my class, 3 days long. I think only 3 people completed the exercise. We looked at 100 properties, wrote a 1-page report. At the end of 90 days on 100 properties, this was the best property. So I went back to the person, and it was in bankruptcy. He was right on the beach, just as pretty as this beach here. And he said I had to have $2,000 down. This is called equity. Again, it's the language of money. So I had equity. The bank was going to lend me $6,000 in debt. That was the deal. Now I had the $2,000 in cash, but the name of the gang or the exercise was can I buy it for zero? So what I did was if I paid for this property with a credit card. So now it was $100% debt. With that 100% debt, I made $25,000 a month. I was a free human being. I never needed money again. If you can make money with no money, that is called
As you can see in that clip of Robert Kiyosaki, he explains how he got into real estate by using other people's money. He could have used his money for the down payment on the property, but he chooses not to, and instead uses his credit card. So it is very important for people to have a good credit history, because without that he wouldn't be able to get a loan from the bank, and he wouldn't be able to use his credit card to get the property. He empathizes on the idea that smart investors wait for market crash, because that is when prices tend to go down and he may find a good offer. So if we can prepare for market crashes and we have a good credit history, then we will have a greater chance of getting into real estate. Commodities, raw materials. While scarcity is one reason why precious metals are so-called precious, these have natural utility value also, and this makes them indispensable industrial commodities. For example, silver is used in the production of electronics, medical equipment, nuclear reactors, and similarly, other metals such as cobalt, nickel, and copper have high industrial demand due to their natural properties. that can't be easily replicated by alternative materials. To draw a much clearer picture, since 2020, the demand for cobalt has skyrocketed. The biggest reason is its crucial use in producing batteries for electric vehicles. Commensurately, its prices have risen from US dollars 20,000 per ton in 2012 to US dollars 40,000 in 2022. That's a 100% increase in just 10 years. Therefore, having exposure to such raw materials can significantly boost your portfolio in high-demand phases. However, not everyone can invest huge sums of money in acquiring raw materials, nor can we physically store them or find the right buyers. Some investors may look for alternative ways to invest in commodities or raw materials by buying stocks of them, but this can be dangerous. As Robert Kyosaki explains, that assets can be categorized in two terms. You have soft assets and hard assets. Soft assets are assets you don't physically own. It might be digital or paper or document showing you actually own it, while hard assets are physical assets that you own. He explains that hard assets are always better than soft assets because if there is a crash, the hard asset will outperform the soft assets in most cases. Here is what he has to say.
It's hard assets. I don't own oil stocks. I own oil wells. There's a very big difference. So every time that thing goes up and down like this and pumps out a gallon of a barrel of oil, I get paid. But other people, I got Exxon stock, I got Chevron stock. And the problem with that was interest rates go up, the stock market's going to come down. When the stock market comes down, gold, silver comes with it, everything comes with it. Those with hard assets like cash flowing real estate and oil and stuff like that, money just keeps coming in. To me, that made sense. So that was my rich dad side.
Number 4, businesses. If you really want to get rich, this is the fastest way to do so, starting a business. But please keep in mind that businesses can be risky, and it is important to do your research before starting a business. Most small business owners don't understand that people don't care about whether your business does good or not. They care about themselves. So if you start a business, don't expect to have a lot of customers. If you aren't providing value, then you won't attract customers. Another thing about starting a business nowadays is that there are too many competitors, so you need to figure out what makes you different from your competitors. Is it that you sell high-quality product? Is it that your service is better? Is it that your product is cheaper, or is it that you have something different to offer? There is a lot of other things that comes with starting a business, such as accounting, managing, good time management skills, knowing how to sell, knowing how to advertise, and taking care of your customers. Smart business owners hire people for specific roles in the business just to take the pressure off them. But a business can be very profitable and can create generational wealth with the right skills and knowledge to make it successful.